हेलो गाइस। तो आज का क्वेश्चन है मेक द स्ट्रिंग ग्रेट। तो यू आर गिवन अ स्ट्रिंग S of lower and uppercase English letters. A good string is a string which doesn't have two adjacent characters SI and SI plus 1, where S of I is a lowercase letter and SI plus 1 is the same letter but in uppercase और vice versa. तो ये क्या कह रहे हैं कि हमें ना एक स्ट्रिंग दे रखी है S और उसमें अगर कोई ऐसा इंडेक्स I प्रेजेंट है such that the character at the index I and the character at the index I plus 1 represent the same letter but they are of the different case, then we have to simply remove those characters. Before talking about an example, let's do one observation. If we have two indexes I and I plus 1 such that they violate the conditions for the string to be a good string, like they both represent the same letter and they are of the different case. So what I can do is that to check if they are violating the condition, I can stand at the index I and I can check if the character at the index I plus 1 represent the same letter and they are of the different case, then these two violate the condition. Or what I can do is that I can stand at the index I plus 1 and I can check if the character at the index I is representing the same letter and they are of the different case, then these two violate the condition. So this is an important observation. Let's try to make this observation on this test case. If I'm standing at this index which is pointing at this E, then I can say that these two violate the conditions. These two violate the conditions for the string to be a good string. Or if I stand at this index and I check if the previous character represents the same letter and they are of the different case, then these two violate the condition. So either I can be at the first index and check the next index, or I can be at the next index and check the previous index. Both of them will work. So how are we going to solve this question? Like, let's talk about this. So we will be doing a scan from left to right and we will be checking if the current character and the character before the current character represent the same letter, then we will remove them in case they are of the different case. Let's make another string which is equals to resultant string, and let's iterate our I from the position 0 to the last position. When I is at the L position, we ask, is the character before L represents the same letter? Since it is the starting point, so we will directly include this in our resultant string. Now, when our I reaches the index 1, we will check, is the character before the current character, which is equals to L, represent the same letter? Says no, they do not represent the same letter. So we will add this to our resultant string. Now, when we are at index 2, is the current character and the character before it, which is equals to E, represent the same letter? They say yes. But are they of different case? It says yes, they are of different case. So we will not include this in our resultant string and we will remove this from our resultant string and our I reaches the next index. Now we are at this index and we ask, is this character and the character before it in the resultant string represents the same letter? It says no, they do not represent the same letter, so directly add them. It is added to our resultant string. Now we move our I pointer forward. Now is this letter and the letter before it are same? It says yes, they are same. But are they of different case? No, they are both they are both in lowercase, so we will directly add it to our resultant string. Now we will move our I pointer forward and we will keep on adding the rest of the string because none of them violate the condition. So the final string that we obtain is Leetcode. This is how we are going to solve the question. Let's also talk about the second case, or the second, let's also talk about the second example. Our resultant string is this. Initially, our resultant string is this because we do not know what characters will be added to our string. Initially, pointer is at the index 0. Now, we will see is the current letter and the letter before it represents the same letter, but there is no letter before it. So we will directly add a. Now we will move our I pointer forward. Now we will see is the current character and the character before it, which is this, is the current character and the character before it represent the same letter. No, they do not represent the same letter, so we will add this to our resultant string. Now we will move our I pointer forward and we ask is the current character and the character before it represent the same letter. Yes, they do represent the same letter, but are they of different case? Yes, this character is in uppercase and this character is in lowercase. So if I include this in our resultant string, this will cause a problem. So I cannot include this in our resultant string. Since I cannot include this in our resultant string, it means that these both are causing the problem. Since these both are causing a problem, I will simply remove both of them. This is removed and this is removed. Now our I is at the next position. Now when our I is at next position, we know that we have removed these two characters. So the character before A is this character, which is stored in our resultant string. It is stored in our resultant string. So we will check is the current character and the character before it represent the same letter. Yes, they do represent the same letter, but are they of different case? Yes, they are of different case. So I cannot include this character. I cannot include this because we have to remove two characters at a time. So we have removed this and we have moved our I pointer forward. Now our resultant string is empty, so we will directly add C to our resultant string. Now when we are at the next index, we see that is the current character and the character before it represent the same letter. It says yes, they represent the same letter, but are they of different case? Yes, they are of different case. So I cannot include this character and the character before it. So yes, I cannot include these two characters and the final result. Initially, the stack, our stack contains our resultant string. Initially, if stack is empty, we will directly push the first character. When our result is empty, we will directly push the first character of S or any character of S that is present at the ith index. Let's talk about this case again. In brief, if initially our stack is empty, initially we are at I equals to 0 and our stack is empty. So we will directly push A to our stack because we are assuming that this is our resultant string. When we reach B, we will directly push B to our stack because we see that A and B are not causing any problem. Now, when we are at this index B, so we see is size of stack greater than 0? Yes, size of stack is greater than 0. Now we ask that is the current letter and the letter present at the end of the string represent the same letter. Says yes, they represent the same letter. Are they of different case? Yes, they are of different case. So I cannot include this B. and I cannot include this B. So I will move my I pointer here and I will pop this from our stack. And this is how when we process this, we obtain a resultant string which is an empty string. So this is the whole logic. Now what exactly I am doing here? This is something important to note. This line takes care of the condition that the current letter and the letter before it represent the same letter, but they are of different case. Why is it that if we have if if I have these two characters, then if I take the difference of them, ASCII value of A is 97 and ASCII value of capital A is 65. The difference comes out to be 32, and that is exactly what we are checking here. Now in case if the previous character was B, so 98 here, and the difference will come out to be 33, and in that case we can of course add A to our stack. You can just submit the code and it will work. Yeah,